Hi, everybody. John here. We're using a new procedure to kind of get the word out about different things happening in the office, including a new YouTube channel designed at just housing small, shorter type of videos for things like policies. So let me go right and dive into personal sales. So I'm going to go through the policy itself. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, this is your time to ask. Please don't be shy. Let Monica or I know. Some of you already have personal sales built into your independent contractors agreement. That might be some different terms and some different payments, if you will. So you will always have to really refer to those. This is just a generic one because we're seeing more and more people purchasing real estate for themselves or their LLCs or corporations, whatever it may be, and everyone is different. So to get a handle on what's happening and to allow you to be able to use all the resources that we have here at RE/MAX Service First, we know that we need to do this. So policy 2025-003 was essentially adopted and published within the last couple of days. You'll see a policy statement, the reason for the policy, and then definitions. Nothing that really should be complicated here. Just understand that under Section 3, Wisconsin State Statute 452-132, and our EEB 24, which is the administrative code covering real estate operations, those absolutely were referenced in this policy and need to be followed because they are law. So who should read this policy? Any and everybody that has anything to do with real estate, including not only agents who are independent contractors. And remember that relationship's important. You are independent contractors. You are your own entity. You are your own business people. And as such, you have an affiliation with our firm. You're not employees. Read the disclaimer and the disclosures. Again, we can be held and sanctioned, I guess, if you do something that you're not supposed to be doing. And then, of course, so can you. Its application applies to all RSF agents while affiliated with the firm. Excuse me, just like anything else, if you leave here, you're affiliated with a different firm, you have to follow their policies. So this is definition number 7 of personal sales. Personal sales are defined as those properties purchased by the agent or the agent's limited liability corporation. Now, you could go a step further. You might not be just an LLC, but it also applies to corporations. The agent must be a member in good standing with the LLC at the time of the purchase. The purpose of the policy is not to circumvent the firm's ability to collect compensation because, let's also be honest, we don't make money, we don't have a business, okay? So we all have to win here. But the firm relies heavily on the agent's sales and the ability to profit from those sales. Prohibitions. The firm recognizes that the agent could individually, without attachment to the firm, purchase property as an individual person. Now, this is important policies, and I'm going to read this and I'm going to go through it. Under this policy, that practice is prohibited because if conducted, the agent couldn't do any of the following. We stop there. One of the reasons why we created the policy is because we found that people are doing things that they probably really shouldn't be doing. And it violates the REEB 24 along with the state statute 452. So you can get sanctioned and you can lose your license for not following the procedures and policies. So dealing with our legal counsel along with the Wisconsin Realtor Association legal hotline, we have some guidelines here, and that's where this comes from. So if you as an agent decide to buy a property and you want to negotiate directly with the seller, you could do that. But to use our forms, to use anything related to RE/MAX Service First or RE/MAX, that's an affiliation, and it drags us into this, okay? Even though you say, well, no, I'm using my, I'm just writing it myself. I'm not writing it on behalf of the firm. Well, you access our system to use the firm paperwork. You use any of the apps that we use. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things, and they're all listed here. So any identification, use or wear, anything related to us, the use of zip forms or our system, which is Bold Trail, any affiliation through GMAR, WRA, remember, you're affiliated with us and you're a member of WRA. Through WRA, you get zip forms, okay? So that's all tying back to us. Use of the company affiliated email communications. You're in our system, and even if you don't have one of our emails, you're in our system, and that's attached to us. So it's the responsibility of the agent to understand that, excuse me, any affiliation or attachment to us brings forth that liability to the firm. So we're going to get to how you do this in a minute. The forms, you're authorized to use any of our forms, including Bold Trail, including all the stuff we've created, the state forms. The approval, though, has to happen before. So what you would do is you would establish really a mechanism for us to approve your purchase or your sale. We'll talk about that procedures and how we do that. So you need to inform us first. 11A says that the agent should inform management or the managing broker, which would be me, of their desire to sell or purchase personal property. This should be in writing and state the approximate location, time frame, and price point of the sale, whether it's a purchase or a listing. What we have found is that people are just going out and purchasing property without letting us know. Compensation is always due on a sale, regardless of whether it's personal or not. And I need to say that again. Just because you're purchasing the property and you put zero compensation in there violates your independent contractor agreement. We as a firm are entitled to compensation whenever you do something. And you might say, well, come on, that's my purchase. It's for me. That's fine. That's why we have these procedures in place. Okay. So you just got to let us know. And we'll tell you if there's a problem. We'll tell you if there's an issue. Some of you are going to do this multiple times in a calendar year, right? We're okay with that. We want you to be able to use all of our tools and process. You need to inquire if there's an offer of compensation. You are not legally able to secure compensation if you are a principal in the transaction. What does a principal mean? Somebody that is purchasing the property for themselves. Even if you're just a partial owner, even if maybe you're extending, let's say, because I'm doing hard money lending to somebody, okay? You're acting as an agent and a fiduciary in there. You may not have to worry about it, but if you're purchasing it with any type of stake where you have a benefit from it, then yes. You have to, disclose that. We'll get to that in a minute. So what do? This is where you come to us and you say, hey, I want to buy this property. They're offering a 2.4% offer of compensation. Well, what we do is we change that to an incentive. So if the agent wishes, the agent may, at the agent's discretion, request the offer of compensation as the seller's incentive to purchase the property. But there's specific language that we need to use to be in compliance with our EEB 24 and Wisconsin statutes. So what do we do in the offer? We put that the agent is drafting, and by the way, this goes in the additional provisions. The agent drafting this offer as a licensed Wisconsin real estate. You have to disclose that anytime you're dealing with clients or customers. Remember, when you first meet a customer, technically speaking, you have to disclose your relationship with the firm, and also the fact that you're licensed. Letter B says for offers involving an offer of compensation, which is then used as an incentive. You say in your offer, you write in there, as an incentive to purchase the property, seller shall provide an incentive of $3,000, whatever, to be paid at closing to assist a buyer in purchasing the property. And that's it. Remember, though, this, you cannot get paid directly, ever, even from a warranty company, right? That warranty company says, hey, we'll give you $60 when you have our policy, or when you order one of our policies for your clients, and then they make you fill out a form. It always has to come to us. You have to be RESPA compliant, and you have to be compliant with statute 452 and our EEB 24, right? So that comes to us. It's on the settlement statement. We then give it to you, okay? You can, and we're okay with it, put if, John Gescheidmeyer is buying the property and I'm affiliated with Remax Service First, if it's clearly stated on the settlement statement, incentive to buyer, John Gescheidmeyer, then you're fine. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to come to us. It just has to, really it comes to us and then we give it to you just on the form of the settlement statement. That can be confusing, so let us know if you have questions. You cannot additionally enter into any side compensations related to the sale. You can't say, hey, just give me $2,000 cash, we'll call it good. That is actually illegal. Okay, you can't do that. If you're going to co-purchase a property, and I know I talked about this before, you can't represent yourself and another party in the same sale or transaction. We've had a couple of times where this has come up recently. You can't be a buyer agent of yourself, okay? Just like with the co-purchase, you can't say, well, I'm the agent, but I'm also a buyer, but Sally's going to be buying most of the property. I'm only a 10% buyer. Not good. Okay, we can't do it. So the administrative fee to buy or sell personal sale is $1,000. If you do this on a regular basis, come to me, we'll work something out. Because of volume, then we help you out. But this policy set forth then is you can sell your own personal house, you can buy another personal house, downsize to a condo, whatever, as long as you've followed the procedures in the policy, $1,000 is it. And you can save all the rest of that money, especially when it comes to your fees. You're not going to charge yourself. That's kind of crazy. But remember, ICA says that you still have to, regardless of whether or not it's your personal sale. Number 12, procedures with property listings or sales. You inform the firm, just like you did before. You can decide whether or not you want to offer compensation. That's your decision. It has nothing to do with us, okay? And we're not going to provide guidance on whether you should do it or not. The listing contract, though, is a little bit different. So if you're an agent in good standing as a member of an LLC or company, you're authorized to conduct the transaction, sell the real property, we call it the asset. You don't need to complete the WB1 listing contract. MLS has another form called the broker owner confirmation in lieu of listing contract form, which is essentially 2/3 of a piece of paper, and that's all you do. You sign it, and then you upload it to MLS as your listing contract, and you're good. All right, let's get to the fun stuff. We take this stuff very severe. We take this stuff very seriously. If you violate the law, it's technically a crime. Okay. If you violate, the policies, we take that stuff very seriously. So we cannot, nor will ever authorize an agent, employee, intern, or affiliate to act in defiance of this policy, state statutes, or the state's administrative code, which is like statute. Number 14, mandatory document submission. Just like anything else, you have an obligation to, in an expedient manner, okay, and usually by another policy, it's 24 hours. You have to provide leases, all offer to purchase, listing contract, buyer agencies, all amendments, counters, notices, and any and all documents related to the sale of the transaction. You have to get that into Bold Trail or our back office system. I think it says within 24 hours. So, important note, it's highly recommended that each agent submit all client communications related to it as well. So what does that mean? Text messages, emails, those all really should be uploaded into your back office system. And then honestly, whether you keep or not is up to you. I just delete them. Okay. So if you have a hand signed piece of paper, we're not going to know about it till you upload it. That has to occur within 24 hours. But remember that all communication with your clients and with other agents, anything related to that sale, can be used in court if there is a lawsuit or a complaint. Complaint wouldn't go to court, but civil actions, whatever they may be, that's all we're going to be subpoenaed for that. And we have to maintain those records for 2 years. The timeliness, like I said there, it says 24 hours. Again, we just kind of gave you some examples. It's not limited to just those, but anything related. And then number 16, and lastly, it's just your attachments and references. And by the way, you're getting this via email. So those are clickable links. You can go right to those for reference. All right, that's all I've got. If you have questions, let me know. We're always here to help you guys. All right, thanks. Have a great day.